as we introduce Reverend Bill Coller for our talk today. Bill has been working with his mediumship for about 50 years now, a little bit over the 50-year mark, which is a long time. A lot of time to do a lot of different things in that mediumship. He spent a lot of time as a tutor with the Arthur Findlay College, spent a lot of time with the SNU organization, on the board, working as the president of the Northern Ireland and Scotland churches. During that time, he's worked in Switzerland for many years, traveled the world. And about 10 years ago, Bill and I looked at New Jersey to start with and wanted to give an alternative to people in terms of their training, in terms of their development, their unfoldment, in terms of things like this with Sunday service, with community. And so as co-founder and co-director of the Inner Spiritual Center, I would like to introduce our co-founder and co-director, Reverend Bill Coller.
Can I just say for you, good morning, everyone. And can I also say good afternoon from Switzerland? It's not a very nice day here. It's a little bit overcast, but the joy of light within our hearts should always be there. You know, for all the bio stuff that Sharon was talking about, I often think how quickly the years go by. And you think back to when you were younger, and you think back to the time when it was very, very exciting, this connection with the spirit world, and sharing that connections with people. And I've got to say, 50 years later, I'm still as excited about it. I've never lost my enthusiasm for having the opportunity to build bridges between the two worlds, having the opportunity to give people a chance to realize that the people who have moved on before them are still very much a part of their lives on an ongoing basis. And that message, hopefully, is a message of hope. And I sometimes, and I shouldn't do it, but I sometimes find humor in the idea of mediumship. Because people in the spiritual world do have humor, strange as it seems. They do have the joy of life, and they do have the knowledge of knowing that when they died, they didn't. And they have that knowledge. And we in this world, not having that knowledge, we grieve for their passing away. We grieve for the physical loss. And that's perfectly normal and perfectly understandable. And then this is where my warped sense of humor comes in. Because I often think, here are the people in this world with a Kleenex, crying, in deep thought, not in the best frame of mind, frustrated at loss, and sad. And I think that's terrible. And then I look into the spirit world, and here's this person who's passed away, and it's party time. They're meeting all the people that have moved on before them, and they're having a kind of whoopsie-doo time in being able to talk to all their friends, talk to all their family, catch up with each other, enjoy the time that they're sharing with each other. And I often think to myself, if only the people in this world knew what I know, then it would not stop you missing the person, because you miss the physical presence, and that's a very normal, natural thing. But you would also be aware that that person that's moved on has another perspective of reality. Firstly, they don't have to pay health insurance. They don't have to pay tax to the government. They don't have to worry about how they pay their PG&E bills. They're free from all these nuisances that we carry as a rucksack in our lives. And they're free to expand themselves spiritually in any way they feel that they want. But when they come back to communicate with us, and it's their desire to communicate, their wish, and I often hear people from religion and different, mostly Christian-based religions, who say you should not disturb the dead. You should leave them alone. And in a way, I can't argue with that. But it's them that want to disturb us. It's them that want to have the communication. It's them that seek the contact. It's them that want us to know that when they died, they didn't. And they bring that, you might call it a message of hope. But the reality is that the spiritual world is with us. And they can, given an opportunity, they can demonstrate that. They do it through the means of what we call today modern mediumship, mental mediumship, but they also do it in other ways. Last week, I was in, how do you explain this? I was in Austria, Germany, and Switzerland all on the same day. And in the middle of a television program that we were involved with, in the middle of that television program, a German coin dropped on the floor for a lady who was getting interviewed about the death of her son. And here was the spirit world saying, we're here, we're listening to you, and let's give you a gift. And that lady got the gift from her son. Now, that I think is very sweet. But what was interesting about it is the lady came from an Italian background, and the gift that she got was an Italian coin. It wasn't a German one, it wasn't an Austrian one, it was an Italian one. And she got that gift from her son, which kind of helped her a little bit to know that her son was around. Now, when the spirit world has the possibility to come close to us, the possibility to demonstrate their presence, whether that possibility is the gift of smell, because we often smell perfume, whether it's the gift of things appearing and disappearing and reappearing, which often happens, the spirit world will do everything they possibly can to make that contact with us. And I think that's pretty cool, that they will do that. But mostly they contact with us and you believe it. That's the problem. They push themselves into your thinking and you think it's imagination. You think, I'm thinking about my husband and it's only my wish to think about my husband. You never think that maybe the husband is telling you that he's there. And if we listened to our inner self a little bit more than we do, then we would have our own personal intimacies with the ones that we love. So the spirit world's not a million miles away. It's only a thought away. Now that thought is as far or as near as your comprehension of thinking. But one of the crazy things, another crazy thing that goes through my brain, you'll often wonder how my brain works, but one of the crazy things that goes through my brain is when the spirit world sees us being sad, they get sad because we're sad. When the spiritual world sees us being happy, they're happy because we're happy. Now, we often in communication will say, well, I want my people in the spirit world to be happy. Well, that's how you make them happy. by them seeing that you're getting on with your life, by them seeing you're managing your life well, by them seeing you've got an understanding that sometime in the future you will reconnect with each other again. And isn't that a wonderful thought, that you will have the possibility to reconnect with each other again in the future? But the reality of it is there's still a lot of water to go under the bridge of life before that reality comes to you. And so that's why it's important that you try to manage your circumstance, to try to rationalize that these people are still there for you. And here's the crazy thing: people think you're crazy by saying this. Keep talking to them. Keep talking. Now, the reason I say keep talking is because, and just imagine for a second, if you were in the spirit world, just imagine that you'd passed away. And everybody in this world kept talking about you in the past tense. She was. Would you like to be thought of as a was? Or would you like to be thought of as an is? If you think of people in the spirit world as an is, you're embracing them as still being alive in your life. He is there. She is there. They are there. But the moment you use the word was, you put a finality against it. That person does not exist anymore. They were in my life. He was in there. She was in there. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't like to be thought about as a was. I would like to be thought about as an is. Because with the is, you keep that person in your heart. You keep them in your mind. And you keep them in your daily routines. So the message for today is not was.